Hey, it's Robin, the Digital Ads Guy, and today I'm going to go over how to manage access to your Google Ads account. Okay, so here we are within Google Ads. We're just on the main campaign page, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to the admin section, and then we're going to click on access and security. So this is the section where you're going to manage access to your Google Ads account, whether that's individual users or what are called manager accounts. These tabs along the top will sort of delineate different levels of access, individual users, managers, as I mentioned, and security, which I'll touch on as well. With respect to managers, this is access to a Google Ads account that is initiated by a Google Ads manager account. So if there is a pending invitation, you'll see that listed. There'll be an approve or a reject button that you can then click, and any managers that are already associated with the account, you'll see them listed, and you'll be able to remove access if you like. But I'll talk here about users and how to manage users. So if you're going to want to add a user, you click the blue plus button, sorry. You're going to enter in their email address here. So email at email.com. The first option that you have is whether or not this access expires after a certain amount of time. So that may be something where you want to invite someone in to potentially audit your account. You want to give them a couple of weeks to do that. Basically what you can do is you can come in here and you can say, all right, you've got until this particular date, and then after that date, immediately their access is revoked. Or if you're entering into, say, a year-long engagement with someone to help you out, or you've got an intern that's working till the end of the summer, maybe things like this. Generally, I don't use that, the access expiry date. I just leave it as never, because you can always come back to this page and remove people who don't need access. So when you've put in the person's email, you specified whether or not their access is going to expire at a certain date, you then choose what type of access they have. So Google does a pretty good job of illustrating the different levels of access and what those people have access to. So email only access, basically you just get notifications. Billing will just allow you to view and to edit billing information. So this could be someone who you don't want them, it's a finance person, you don't want them to actually make changes in the account, but you want them to be able to see the invoices, the transaction records, and they maybe need to update with a new credit card, that kind of idea. Read only, this level of access is going to be basically, again, someone who has they have more access to the account, but they can't make changes. So they can see, the click activity, the campaign structure, the performance, all that kind of stuff, but they're not able to make any changes. They can't edit anything, including billing information. The standard access, this is the most common level of access. It allows people to do anything in the account except for managing users, what we're doing right now. So only an admin can manage users. There are some other things that standard access users can't do, product links, things like that, but we won't get into that today. And then admin access. And admin allows you to do absolutely everything, including manage users. So if you invite someone in as an admin user to your Google Ads account, be very careful, because they could ostensibly remove you as a user. So reserve this for very specific situations. So once you enter in the email, you pick the level of access that the person wants, you send an invitation. Click on this button. So that invitation will then be sent via email to this email account, and then that person can then, they can either ignore it or they can accept the invitation that will then take them to a web browser where they will then have access, whatever level of access you've granted to them. You will see here the list of users that already have access, what their access level is, and you can take action over here by removing their access if you like. If someone is no longer with your organization, or it's someone who no longer needs access, you can simply click and remove access. Depending on your level of permissions, in this particular example, I have admin access, so I can actually change the level of access that individual users have. So I can bump them down from admin, or I can bump them up to basically anything in between. So in a nutshell, that's how you manage individual user access. We talked about managers. And the final thing I want to talk about is security, because one important thing is this allowed domains. Because if you're going to invite a user in to your Google Ads account, they need to have, that email address needs to have a domain that is listed in these allowed domains. So you can see, for example, Gmail, that's a common one, but I had to, manually add that. If they are, at a different organization, not your organization, and it's got a different domain, you won't be able to invite that user until you have first added their domain to this allowed domains section. This is just simply a extra level of security that Google employs. And then if you want to remove any of these domains, you simply click the X next to them. So that is how you manage access and security within Google Ads.